Okay, we're live from my bedroom on location. And today we have a fantastic person who I like to talk to. Also, he's a lawyer for the last 35 years. And if you need a lawyer and he can't be the lawyer, he'll find you a lawyer as a lawyer consultant. We'll give that number at the end of the show. But he's one of the reasons why I'm still doing this, or at least wanting to do this. Like I was telling you, I like to start with a little song. I usually have my guitar with me because I might as well pitch myself as a singer. Why not? So you do a little song, but you have to do a song you own. And I wrote 50 songs in my lifetime, so I sing those songs once in a while because I own them. You can't own other people's music. Did you know that?
You have to pay them a royalty.
You have to pay them a royalty.
If they hear it.
See, if they hear it as a morality thing.
That's right.
No, is it ethical or morality? If they hear it. I mean, I've already stolen it. I know I stole it. You know that I know that you know that I know I stole it.
Right.
So I stole it. I get caught. Now I'm in trouble?
You could sing it and then give it back.
I never took it anywhere. I was just borrowing. I was always just borrowing.
You're borrowing, but you're disseminating.
You know, you should stop using words you think I might know. If you could, please. Thank you for laughing. You didn't have to.
Yeah, no,
and by the way, the person laughing right now, which we are live from my bedroom on location. And the on location, of course, the criteria is can I sleep there? And clearly I could sleep here. This is a nice room.
Very nice.
We're in a hotel.
But it isn't your bedroom.
No. The name of the show is Live from My Bedroom.
Oh, live from your bedroom.
On location.
On location. Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Right. So
yes.
you never need to use your bedroom.
No, I did for the first season. We're now in season 2.
Okay.
And now we're out and about talking to people who, every time I've talked to people, and I'm like, why am I not recording this conversation? People could learn from this because I clearly didn't.
That's right.
That's right. So someone else should glean a delicious tidbit of something from the craziness that I'm hearing. And if you're hearing this voice right now, then there's 2 voices you're hearing, and the other one is HART POMERANTZ. And this gentleman is so many things to me, and I don't know if he knows how many things he is to me, but when I was starting out as a security guard, I was told, well, this guy should be in comedy. And it wasn't from HART POMERANTZ. HART POMERANTZ would be the one to tell you, get an education. Do something with your life first, and if you're funny, it will come. This gentleman made it so I actually became a salesman, and I have other attributes that I can fall back on if I didn't make any money in the entertainment business. Not because my parents said you're crazy, but another person in the entertainment business said you should have something to fall back on. So I had my good looks, and he said no. I had my music, he says no. And then I said, I'm bigger than most people. Sure, walk around, you could be a security guard. That worked out pretty well. And so I met him in a mall. He was a friend of a friend who's a lawyer, and he says, I got a lawyer friend for you. He does comedy. A lawyer friend that does comedy? Tell me more. I didn't know this person. Because in my day, when I was coming up through the biz, there was amateur nights. And I did not want to be an amateur, not for a moment. I didn't even like the word amateur. There was something to it that made me feel like I was trying to keep my amateur status for the Olympics. I wasn't sure what was going on. It felt terrible. So I said, I want to be an up-and-comer. And with that attitude, I joined a comedy club, and they hired me as the house MC. I had 4 other shows, and I met a man who I asked for advice of what I should do, and he said, all stage time is gold. You must take the stage time. But the funny part is he was a lawyer. He was making more money than I'd ever make as an entertainer. So he already had his job already lined up for him. But he still, to this day, is taking gigs and standing up in front of audiences for the live interaction of the back and forth. Because I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, if this is something you want to do or you have a relative that wants to do this, that's all we got. It's all you got. They want to do it. There's no stopping someone that wants to do this. They will call you back. And so I'm always welcoming in my bedroom, live from my bedroom on location. HART POMERANTZ, thank you very much for being here, sir.
It's good to be here, and I'm glad you're still up and coming.
I am. I clearly, no one's giving me a star on any walk of fame anywhere yet.
Well, you've made your own in the bedroom of your on-location house.
Right.
And as far as I can see, you don't have to pay rent.
That's true, but anywhere that I'm on location, I don't have to pay rent.
Oh, that's good.
Right? No,
Yeah.
that's a great idea for anybody who wants to do a show and be a place and get sponsored by a place, and then you can, chit chat about that place. But today I'm not being sponsored by. If anybody gets a thank you for this location,
Right.
it's Out There with Melissa DiMarco. We are actually sitting in the studio that we shoot our in-studio interviews in for the show Out There with Melissa DiMarco on City Television. Well, actually, I think it's actually just called City now, just City.
Well, I think you've got a very good job, and you should stay with it.
Okay, so you're saying don't do this one, don't pursue being.
No, this is good. You've got a wonderful, as I say, you have a wonderful voice for radio, and you also talk fast.
And that's good for radio to talk quickly?
I think it's good. It depends how fast you're driving when you're listening. The faster you drive, the quicker you talk.
Right.
It makes they match up with one another. But as people come to a stop, you have to slow down your voice a little bit. It should match the speed of the car of people listening, because most people listen to the radio while they're driving.
That is true. That is true. I'm just trying to figure how I would work. Are you involved in the radio side of our business, sir?
I started in radio.
You started in
at
radio.
CBC.
Started in,
in 1968, we did comedy sketches, Lauren Michaels and myself.
Lauren Michaels from SNL FAM.
Yes, from SNL. He and I were partners. He phoned me one day and said, "Do you want to be in show business?" And I said yes, and we became partners while I was a lawyer. And I had an office at the Colonnade Theatre in Toronto. Pardon me, not the Colonnade Theatre, the Colonnade apartment building. They had a big theatre in it. And at lunchtime they had a show. And Lauren and I performed before a live audience sketches on a show called The Russ Thompson Show for CBC. So we started all our show business in radio and did it for a year as well in the studio at CBC.
When you're doing a sketch for radio, are you thinking of theater of the mind? So when you're a writer writing specifically for radio,
Yeah.
do you find yourself, because you don't have a visual medium, you got only the audio to work with there?
Well, I never wrote anything.
Now I'm confused. But you're a writer. You wrote for the laugh. Help me here.
Well, I'm a writer, but I never wrote for myself. I wrote for other comedians.
Okay.
My comedy I did ad lib on tape,
Okay.
audio tape. It was made out of wood back then.
The audio tape was made of wood.
Yes, it was very, very hard to deal with, hard to edit,
Yes.
but we used woodpeckers, which
Okay.
was my idea, but
Right.
it's very hard to keep them 8 hours a day.
The woodpeckers.
Yeah, they have a union.
The Woodpecker Union.
Yeah, absolutely. So the point of the matter was that someone would say, be a character, I'd become a character, and then Lauren would just ask me questions as that character. It would be on the tape recorder. We'd listen to it, do it again, fix it a little bit. That was it.
See, in my
But
world,
writing it down to me was too slow.
no, I agree. Writing it down, it doesn't lift off the page as quickly as, no, this is what it should sound like, now write it down.
Yeah, I don't listen. I hear it for the first time when I say it.
Yes. So what do you call that? Because that's my whole life.
It's called, it's in the DSM right now. It could be called ADD. It could be called
listen.
hyperactivity disorder.
What are you saying out loud?
I'm saying when you say things before you think, it's a very strange process of the mind, because you should be able to censor what you're saying so that you don't say something you don't want to, or you'll feel bad about later.
Right. I do that all the time.
But
I told a woman she had face for radio, and I was just trying to tell her, I know you from the radio. And I was like, there's no coming back from telling a woman she's got a face for radio.
Well, I know that woman, and she did have an on-off switch on her nose, which is something very, very strange. And so for the one time you were correct, but generally speaking, it's not a good thing to say to a woman.
I want to tag that and call it a dump switch if I could.
Switch,
I think that's what it's called when you don't want to hear a bad word. It's called the dump.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know her that well. Nevertheless, between you and I, the comedy I do is more ad-lib comedy. Ad-lib comedy is stream of conscious. Mel Brooks did it. Robin Williams did it. I do it. writing for comedians is different because you have to think about them.
Right.
But when someone is prompting you with questions, you respond
In the character.
in the character, or you turn on the comedy response switch in your head and put
Right.
it on automatic pilot.
See, that's interesting. So actually, people say, "Oh, you're very funny." All day long, people tell me I'm very funny.
Yes.
And with that, because I'm not trying to be funny, I say
Right.
it's just my defense mechanism. Because that's all it really is. I am defending myself from whatever's just come forward.
Well, I've been watching you.
Okay, that's kind of psychopathy.
No, I mean, I'm attuned to what you're trying to do, and I think with you, it's not necessarily a defense mechanism because you're doing a show. all
No,
the
I'm
time.
talking about, I go to the dentist, he fixes my tooth, he sucks my uvula down my throat. I go back and I say, I can't swallow, I got my uvula down my throat. He's laughing. I said, sir, I'm going to get my lawyer friend Hart here because it's not funny. I'm choking on my uvula. He's crying with tears. Sorry, sir, it's just so funny.
I know, I had the same experience. But the dentist should refer you to a uvula specialist. You see, he would be negligent, this is the law part, to try and get back your uvula.
He stretched it. He sucked on it for 4.5. See, here's the problem. Just for a teeth cleaning,
Yes.
I wish I was kidding.
No.
For a teeth cleaning, I actually have to be put under. They have to give me, not a local, a general anesthetic.
Why?
Because if you come at me with a knife,
Yes.
I'm going to punch you in the face. Just because it's in the shape of a needle, I'm supposed to let that happen?
So how do they deliver cutlery to you in a restaurant?
Slowly.
Slowly.
Is that no? Is that a good punchline? I don't know.
Not bad.
That's not bad, right? I
Not
mean,
bad.
it's no Woody.
Or you grab your uvula and say, leave me alone.
It's my uvula. I'm going home.
So you have a fear of knives and sharp objects?
I don't. No. Okay. I don't even know. I like you like a friend, and I like anyone who's listening to this. If my grandmother, when I was 13 years old, woke me up, I'd cold cock her. So she stopped waking me up. She threw water from the, she actually got a wet cloth, and she would throw it from the door because she got punched once. She learned her lesson. So that same year, they put me into the dentist, right?
Right.
And
The dentist looked like your grandmother?
and I punched her out.
Really?
Yeah, but I had nothing but looking like. But I like what you did. You added a nice little layer. I like your
Of
layer.
course, we're doing jazz here.
I love jazz.
Yeah, well,
in
this is
music and in
jazz
life.
comedy, you
Yes.
see?
Mm.
But are you doing a defense mechanism?
I think so.
You're tall. I don't know why you would need one. I'm small.
Right.
I need one.
See what you just did there? So I've been
If you're in
smoking.
the schoolyard and you're small, you have to have something to defend yourself, make yourself special,
Right.
or they'll eat you.
That's what happened.
But if you're big like you,
No, see, that's what you're doing. But keep going.
I don't understand what the problem is that would make you
I know.
that insecure.
I know.
And why don't you like your grandmother? That's another
That's
issue.
another thing. My booby.
Yeah.
She's dead now, but she was the lady that told me if someone's not a nice person at 17, they're not a nice person at 71. So don't give them the respect. Don't do it.
Well, I think she's right.
I know. That's why I love my grandmother, my booby. The reason it is, sir, sadly, another thing people can learn. I've never
But
told.
you're
What?
saying that your dentist laughed at you because he thinks you're a comedian.
No,
Why did he laugh?
because I'm telling the story so amusingly, because I'm defending myself, because I'm scared out of my mind. I'm choking on my uvula.
Well, why is he laughing?
Because the way I'm telling the story, it's funny to this individual because the way I do things is in a defense mechanism of I use humor as my hobby.
But you seem to have an offense mechanism.
Yes,
If
yeah, you're right.
And
I do.
so I don't usually hit my grandmother.
No, I didn't hit her. Like it
mean,
wasn't like, hey,
my
come here,
grandmother-
come here, grandma. That didn't happen.
It
It was
didn't
I was sleeping.
Oh, your arm went out. I see.
No. You wake me up, I'm punching you in the face. I don't care if you're my grandmother. This is the point you should
And
walk
your-
away with.
And your wife sleeps in a different neighborhood.
Okay. Let's take 4 steps back.
Surely.
I used to smoke cigarettes when I was 7 years old.
I remember.
Okay. You were that guy selling me the cigarettes in the corner. And now, when I was 7 till I was literally, I just had children.
Right.
And when I started having my children, I decided I didn't want to have cigarettes anymore.
Right.
And so Boris, the incredible Boris, a hypnotist, he gave me a suggestion not to want such a thing. It basically helped me to motivate myself to not smoke anymore. But because of smoking, when I graduated high school, was 5'7". So in public school, I was shorter than everybody. I was the shortest kid in the school.
Really?
Right.
Oh, I didn't
No,
know that.
and of course, no one knows that.
No.
You meet me as an adult. I'm walking around 6'3".
But you're still 5 feet tall because of your
right.
high school days.
Right. So halfway, I've now just recently, in the last 10 years, I've been taller longer than I've been shorter.
Right.
So I've been walking around with a Napoleon complex,
Ah,
which is,
so you're a tall, short guy.
and I'm also Jewish. And so it goes like this. If you say something negative about me being Jewish before you know I'm Jewish,
Yeah.
I'm going to punch you so hard
Yeah.
that your Nazi soul will feel it. Okay. So that's kind of where I come from. So the first thing, so I'm already offensive, like you would say, for my defensive, because I don't want to have to physically or verbally turn you into a pile of mush because you don't know what just walked into the room. Hi, my name's Adam Powell. I'm Jewish and I have bipolar. I'm a little bipolar.
Right.
How are you today? And don't use the word angry.
Ah, I see. So you have to in advance of your entry, give an introduction to yourself.
I have been over the course, yes.
So that people do not cause those buttons to be pushed.
Correct.
Which will allow them to perhaps end up in a morgue.
Well, I would hope morgue is, I mean, I cold cocked my grandmother. I mean, she didn't die. She walked around the next day. She threw a cloth. She could throw a cloth. So I didn't hurt anybody to the point where they're morguing.
Okay.
Come on.
You know, but I mean,
Yeah, I know.
grandmothers have thin skulls usually.
Not this one. She's Polish.
Oh, she's Polish.
Thick-skulled for sure.
I had a Polish grandmother.
Of course. I have one.
She made food to die from.
That's good. See, wordplay.
Wordplay.
Yeah, that's very nice. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Polish mama.
Yeah, well, you know, it's interesting that you understand yourself. Most people don't.
Well, I'm over analytical about you, and now I turn that on myself fortnightly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I turn off. It does happen. But when I turn off, it's not a happy place. It's really self-aware of, if it wasn't for the big ball of gas in the center of our solar system, we all couldn't exist. And then it starts very big to kind of how small, insignificant, what is going on type plays.
Nor get a suntan.
And I have psoriasis. I can't even go into the sun with the medicine I'm on.
Oh, really?
It's true. Everywhere I go, I wear and I have an umbrella. I either wear a big hat or I have an umbrella. It's me and another Asian lady with the umbrella. It's true. It's true everywhere I go.
So you got, as we say in the legal world, SIRS.
No, I'm not from the legal world. If anyone's listening, they are from the legal world.
Yeah.
I'm not. I got SIRS?
SIRS.
SIRS?
That's a Jewish word meaning trouble.
Oh, you know, is it? Yiddish. Yiddish. I have zero Yiddish in my thing except for bitzel, which means little.
Oh, I see.
And what else? So Yiddish, kishmer tuchas arayin. I mean, don't repeat, but
No,
yeah.
that's a bad word. Okay.
I thought it was a bad sentence, but
No, it's a good sentence and a bad word.
oh, I see.
The good sentence would be 3 years less a day for you.
Wow, what did I do to get that? I
Nothing
don't
at
know.
all. But don't cold cock me or whatever it is because I don't like the phrase at all.
Oh, cold cock.
Yeah. It's not pleasant. But nevertheless, when you're smaller, as you know, you invite attack from people who are a little bit aggressive. You could be bullied. Were you ever bullied in high school? Or,
Yes, of course.
See, I never was.
It was very weird. You were never bullied?
Never.
How did you get away with being a Jewish person with that face and never get punched?
I never took it to school.
Which part, your face or the
face,
Jewishness?
the face.
I see.
Left it at home in a drawer.
No, but how? No, I'm being serious though. How did you?
I don't know.
Kids are evil. Kids are straight up evil. I see it in front of me. I got 3 boys. They're just not nice. You show a little bit of weakness.
Yeah.
It's not good.
I think brothers generally, from the biblical times on, have been
This is where you started?
killing each other.
Yes.
There's something about brothers that they want to kill each other.
Right.
Cain and Abel.
Yeah,
and,
that's a good one. That's a good one.
you
That's a
know,
good one.
And the Mills brothers.
The Mills brothers,
I don't
yeah, that's
know.
an Exodus.
That's an Exodus,
Yeah.
yeah. But nevertheless, I think they had fights when they were kids.
Right.
What it boils down to is males are aggressive. They try to be like chimpanzees to create who's top dog, as it were. And they use that to control their lives. And they start very early in the family. And if there's 3 boys, they're the same sex and there's sibling rivalry. And they fight it out.
But you're a lawyer. Why do you think you have this knowledge? Like, where is this coming from?
I've always been a psychologist, I've always watched people and tried to understand.
But in law, is there a place in law?
No.
No.
No, law is really it's a dullard's world. It's full of long sentences.
So why are you there?
Well, you see, the psychology part of law comes in assessing clients, assessing the opposition, assessing the judge if you're going to court. So you should be a psychologist in any business, whether you're a salesman and lawyers are basically salesmen because they have to sell their case to a judge and get them to like him and find out how to manipulate that judge to find favor in their client. But most lawyers don't understand psychology. I just have an affinity for it because I grew up with a lot of complexes and emotional strangenesses. And I thought about it a lot, and I have an instinct for it.
But you didn't take any education, formal education for psychology.
No. I mean, I went to many psychiatrists.
Okay, no. Like you can't go to a school to learn timing. You can't go to a school to learn persona.
No.
So you can't go to school for that. So
No.
you can't. So you're saying there's a little thing that you now have. It's a part of your on stage, or at least as your perceptive. Because that's what you get. You got to judge your audience. You got to judge the crowd. That's what you're doing. You're looking out and you're saying, "Oh, I see what I have to do here, or what's going on there." You're very perceptive.
That's reason. All my intuition is subconscious. Same as my comedy. I don't know I'm doing it till I say it.
Right? No, I have the same problem.
It's not a problem.
Though when you just told me it's either ADHD or OCD or bipolar, which is what I've already told you I am.
Yeah, well, bipolar is, when you look at them all, they're all on a spectrum in the brain. Probably there's a lot of connection between all the brain disorders. Whatever synapses aren't, it's just a matter of which wires aren't connected properly.
Nice.
And bipolar, even Hitler.
Okay, what's that now?
He had bipolar disorder.
Bipolar,
Yes,
yeah,
he wanted to
bipolar.
divide it in half.
He sure did.
So, when you look at it, it's not funny mental illness, but everyone's afraid of being crazy. And they're afraid of people knowing what they're really like. And if people really talked about themselves the way they knew themselves, you'd find a lot more people were mentally deficient and mentally disturbed than you would think. I think almost everybody's got a problem. Almost everyone I meet. They may be successful, they may be smooth, they may be cool, they may be slick, but inside, deep down, nobody feels perfectly good.
I don't know how old I was when I came up with, in my brain, of those who strive for normalcy. Like they're looking, hey, that's not normal. Like those people, they're the ones who are trying to defend that situation because I have never been able to find an equilibrium for anything in life to say that there's a different for everything. It's all about moderation. I mean, you're allowed to be, all these little things are allowed to happen. You just can't be all the time.
Some people have no middle. They have a low and they have a high, but they don't have a middle. It's like turning on the radio and it goes straight to the highest volume, or you turn it to the lowest volume and nobody can hear it. But the middle is where most people call normal. It's like having a temperature of 98.6 versus 102 or 85. Normal is what most people are, and most people can get through their lives being in the middle. If you're bipolar, you're always passing the middle up and down, and you wave to it as you go by it.
I wish you could wave. I wish I could see it happen. It's everyone around me is either with kit gloves, like well, better not do. But now I'm so self-aware because of working on this show, 27-hour days, 27-hour days, 3 of them in a row, kind of, sort of,
Right.
made me so aware because I was actually listening to myself, and while I'm yelling, I don't even know why I'm yelling. I'm actually quite happy right now, and I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And it was these little awakenesses that I had forgotten that I was bipolar because things were going well enough. Because I'm basically living a very happy life where the people around me who see that I'm excited, they treat it like there's a fine line between anger and passion. Right? You can't see a difference between a man who's really passionate about what he believes in, he's getting angry about it. Man, this is how it is. It looks the same. And I was walking around knowing I was passionate about things because that's why I was getting all agitated.
But
people see anger.
You have a 60-watt fuse in a 1,000-watt brain. That's the problem.
I'd be popping it off all the time.
You're popping it off all the time, and it's not holding the circuit.
It's not keeping sweet light for just the nice. It's strobing.
It's strobing.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And I think that's what the scientists are finding now, that the excitation part of the brain gets overheated.
It does.
And you don't get a fan to turn on. It just doesn't turn on, so the engine burns, you know.
Right.
It's like your cooling system doesn't work in the car.
Right. And what about you? What about you?
I never get angry very much.
No, I've noticed that.
You know, I'm pretty level. Sometimes I'm quiet, but often when I'm alone, I'm a little bit melancholy.
Yeah.
I think most comedians,
yeah.
comedians are melancholy. I'm cynical to a great degree.
Yeah.
I see the world as difficult, not easy.
I would hope anything worth having should be difficult. I mean,
But I meet people who have trouble, and I have great empathy for them.
right.
And I don't say he's a jerk and he's an idiot and he's a fool. I say he's malfunctioning. He's not doing as well as he should. Something's wrong with the circuits.
Right.
So I look at it technically, and I don't try to blame people. Even the worst people in the world, the mass murderers, they don't want to be mass murderers.
Right.
They just are.
I can blame people in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I very quickly I can figure out why it was your problem, not mine. I didn't do it. It was you. You asked me to do it. Your fault.
Do you think if a person's in denial, they
That
have
would
to
be
know
me?
what they're denying?
As long as they're not in the forest. I don't know. I actually don't know where I was going with that little parable.
Not in the forest?
Yeah, because if a tree falls in the forest, can anyone hear
Oh,
it?
I see. Yeah, it's philosophical.
Yeah, but you guys being philosophical.
Yeah, I just understand one thing, that if you can't control your monkey brain, you're in big trouble.
I didn't think monkey brain, not the lizard brain, the monkey brain.
The limbic brain.
Yeah, not the
we
lizard
grew up
brain,
with.
not the fight or flight.
No.
The one, not the There's 3 levels of brain.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, this brain is the one that the cavemen grew up with and survived with. Quick judgment, kill the enemy. You know, like a dog barking. Are we out of?
No. That's the best part about these things.
Yeah.
There is no tape.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I mean, seriously,
Yeah,
that's
I know,
how it goes.
I know what you mean.
Right now, anybody who was live streaming, they're listening to this live.
Oh, I see.
Now, what's weird about
Oh.
that is 7.5 minutes into it,
Yeah.
they're now recording us, because it's now it's recording, and then they put on a commercial. Right now, we could be brought to you by things we clearly would not want it to be brought to you by.
Oh, so we provide the show and
We
they
provide the show.
commercials.
They provide the commercials
Ah.
outside of it. Now, you have other ways of
So
broadcast.
everybody's providing a different commercial.
I've actually seen the same. I've actually watched one, and it's the same commercial every 7.5 minutes that just popped on to watch. And they do the same thing if you're watching any of the YouTube or a commercial comes on. Some are 15 seconds and you can jump ahead. Some are 3 minutes.
I think they're called skip ad, aren't they?
Nice.
That's the one.
Brought to you by Skip Ad.
That's the one I always push.
Yeah. You know, I think I'm going to go out of my way. I'm going to go out of my way and open a company called Skip Ad.
It's
That
not
is
bad.
very funny, and it would work.
It would work.
It would work.
It's
The advertising company, Skip Ad.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, see, I believe that for every commercial on television which advocates purchasing a product, there should be, after it, another commercial telling people not to buy anything. I think that's a fair way to deal, because people are being pressured to buy things they don't need.
It's not even pressure. It's worse than that. As a Jewish person, I can smell the guilt. They're telling me I'm not a good parent unless I would do that for my child.
Well, I never would interpret it that way, because that would make me angry, and I wouldn't want to be angry. I would.
What are you, the Hulk?
No, I would just say they're trying to make money.
Yeah, that they're in
that I
business.
can
They're in
understand,
conspiracy
but they don't,
to make money.
They don't really understand that the more things you buy, the more broke you get. Eventually, you get out of money, and all those people who are manufacturing the things they want to sell you are not going to be able to sell them because they've sold too many things to them already. There is a limit to everyone's buying ability.
No, that's why you let in immigrants. No, seriously, I believe that's why Canada lets in 25,000 people a month so they can buy the new stuff, because we clearly don't have the place to put them. We need to build houses, and we need to put people in them, and they got to buy cars.
Closets.
Closets is what we need.
We need closets. Not
More
houses.
closets.
Bring in the immigrants. Let them build closets.
Closets.
And the house is too expensive.
Forget about row housing.
Yeah.
Row closets.
Row closets, because once they're full, you can build another closet, but you can't keep building houses. They're too expensive.
Actually, the scary part, houses would be awesome, because at least then you would own some land. Condos are what's happening, and that's just going to turn things into ghost towns, because no one's going to ever have the money to revamp, they're going to make a bunch of slum houses. Is what's going to turn into. Like
Well-
Hamilton. Have you been to Hamilton lately? $50,000 for a condo. You want to move
I wouldn't mind moving.
to Hamilton?
No, but I wouldn't mind moving.
I hear you. No, that's exactly what I was saying.
Hamilton's area, it requires a knife and a fork to consume.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
The
So
steel
so
mills are there.
who knows you're there?
The
steel mill.
mills, yeah.
And the flames. The
Yeah, the
flames up in the air. They know what they know you're there. The
It-
flames know
it-
you're up
it-
there.
It looks like hell when you're arriving on the highway, on the Queenie, and it looks like that's the entry to hell.
You know, you're doing a good job here. People are coming in and out of this studio, and you're doing
Yeah.
a pretty good job in keeping engaged with me. And,
Yeah.
and you don't have to.
No, you're very.
Oh, we lost it. I don't know what you said. Your shirt was talking to me.
Yes, I lost my mic, and
Yeah.
now I got it back again.
Yeah.
But this is the first time I've really understood you.
I was actually going to say that myself. I was saying, I think every time we talk,
Yeah, I
we should just, even if we don't record.
Yeah,
Just-
make it question answer, because
Yeah.
when I speak with you, generally speaking, you have a million ideas coming at me at once, and I am very slow to absorb data.
And I thought, because of what you had done and where you're from,
Mhm.
that I would have to try to keep up with you.
No, I'm very slow. I just can throw a quick jab now and again.
Yeah, but you can quick. Yeah, your combinations are uncountable. You can throw 7. So no one throws 7. No one throws 7 punches. My point being,
Yeah.
when I meet people of a caliber, I expect them to be at the same caliber or higher, not lower, especially when they've had a career that I would aspire for or look towards. So in both cases, I hold you in high regard, and I was always, until I told you, I think I told you, I was trying to impress you with, look how fast my brain works.
No,
You know?
it works way too fast for my brain.
No, that's what you told me
Yeah.
only later on in life.
Yeah.
At the beginning, you were just, yeah.
I was overwhelmed with your data processing
Right.
ability.
No, I understand.
You're very good on facts. When I get information, I have to take one sentence at a time, process it. But when I'm creating information, I can go fast.
No, see, what I
My
think,
receiving isn't as good as my broadcasting ability.
someone said it to me once, and I can't remember who, but it was like, if you say it fast enough, it doesn't make it true. But in general, if you say it fast enough,
Yeah.
people don't know what the hell you just said. So
Yeah,
you can move on to the part that is entertaining or funny, because I don't.
I would go into a song as
I,
quickly as
that's what I would
possible.
do.
Always.
What would I do if something was going terrible here? Right, I didn't even get a cookie. I didn't get one cookie. I'm taking 2 cookies. You want a cookie?
If you want.
Oh yeah, his mom made them.
Oh, thank you. Thank her
Yeah,
for it.
they're delicious.
Yeah.
That was Nick. He wants to be a director.
Well, he's very good on cookies.
He's a good cookie person
He should
so
work
far.
for the Food Network.
Well, he should work for his mom,
Yeah.
because his mom's the one that baked the cookies.
Oh, okay.
Good promoting. I got 2 cookies.
I got one.
Yeah, I don't know. He just didn't know who you were. He knew. See, I actually hired that
Oh,
gentleman.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so he
Well,
gives me 2 cookies.
So there's payola here.
Oh, cookies.
Cookies.
Did you know that if you're a limousine driver
Yeah.
or something like that, and you give a bribe, what do you call that? A little something in the mouth, a little, you give them
A taste?
give them that. They call it a cookie.
Do they?
They do.
Oh, I
So
didn't
it'd be
know that.
funny if you go to a nice club
Yeah.
and you go, "Hey man, I got a cookie for you. Just give me my car."
And
then
give
you
them a real cookie.
hand him a cookie, and then someone's like, "I want to go kill that Jewish man." You're like, "No, that's HART POMERANTZ. He's very funny."
But I don't go out much. That's the good point. Is I stay home a lot.
You do, and your wife didn't come with you. I expected your wife today for some strange, crazy reason.
Well, that it certainly would be a crazy reason.
Okay.
But she's at home tending the house. She's raking the living room as we speak.
Raking it in.
Yeah. No, just raking.
Just raking.
Yeah, we have a big tree in the front.
I love the visual because I actually see things growing on it now, and you're like, "Oh, it's just so beautiful."
Yeah, my wife is from Peterborough, and so she's not a showbiz person.
Well, that would make sense. My wife is also not in show business because that would be hard. It would be terrible.
Yeah.
2 people not making a living.
Well, you can make a good living in show business if you're
Or not.
if you're lucky.
Right.
The problem is it's like the CNE and the people with the panda bears. You only see the people carrying the panda bears at the CNE, the ones who threw the quarters on the dishes,
Right.
and you don't see around them 10,000 people without panda bears.
Well, you do.
You see them, but you focus on the winners and say, "I wish I could do that."
Because who wishes to be the loser walking with nothing?
Well, most people, unfortunately, have to be losers for the winners to exist.
No, that's actually how I walk through life. When I meet people that are ridiculously disgusting, I said, "Thank you for being here, because without you, I can't feel good about myself."
Well, that requires some therapy, but
Okay.
I mean, you're going to have to constantly hang around with disgusting people.
No, it just seems to be.
They just attracted to you.
No, just in general, people seem to always show their true spots or colors.
Uh-huh.
In general, everyone, as you said, the normalcy is the place that you pass through once in a while. No one's really living there.
Well, most people are normal, but most people will not admit to being normal.
What?
They don't like to be average. Everyone thinks
Oh,
they're a big
average.
big
So now
bad
average is normal.
More
The
or less,
norm.
yeah.
The norm, being
Yeah.
an average. See,
How do they get the norm? They add up the number of
Right.
people, divide by the number.
right. And I'm so angry with the mean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you want to be exceptional, and everybody today wants to be exceptional. Hence the selfies and the this whole thing, social media.
That's what we're doing. That's what this is. This is social media.
This is social media with people who know how to do it,
No. Everyone knows not how to. No, that's the funny part.
but they're not entertaining.
Well,
Why
okay.
be in social media if you're not entertaining? Why be in any media if you're not entertaining?
Well, no, social media is for the plight of advertising through, like, comedy is the vehicle, but there's a message normally. Something's going on with that comedy. You're saying something. Can't we all get along? I mean, there's something. Did you try to eat the chocolate?
I did, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, I saw that. Why don't you put that on there so you don't get it on your nice pants?
The last bite of your pie always ends up on your tie. Did you know that?
You know,
If you go for that last little piece on the plate, it always ends up on your lap.
I stopped wearing ties a long time ago. I
Did
wear
you?
bow ties now and ascots.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah.
You
I'm trying to bring it back.
Yeah.
I'm bringing sexy back.
See, I think Facebook is a great thing for people who want friends,
Okay.
but don't like people.
Yes, exactly. Not that they don't like people, just like you're saying, it's people get to edit themselves on Facebook, where in life, those who have problems can't edit. I would say that I only send about 7% of the things I post actually get posted. The rest I just delete. I'm like, I can't say that.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Well, what I'm trying to say is they're being pumped up by an absent audience. It's almost like being in show business, but nobody shows up. But they send a lot of cards saying they wish they had been there. That's what social media seems to be.
No.
There's no real interaction between people who have 100,000 friends.
Oh, no, 100. See, I don't know anyone that has 100.
Well,
I think you're thinking Twitter. That's what I think you're doing.
maybe
Because Twitter is getting in the millions, where Facebook is, if I don't know who in life, if I don't know who you are, I've never
Yeah.
seen you,
right.
you're not my Facebook friend. Every Facebook friend I have is either a friend from high school or
Yeah.
my life,
But
people
they
that I
send
know.
you friends. Sometimes they say, "Wouldn't you like to be friends with him?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
sure,
say
why
no.
not?
I don't say no. See, that person, I don't know what they're doing, but if you're on my Facebook account, I have met you.
Oh.
People, I would say not daily, but at least weekly, or like friend requests, and I say, "How do I know you?" And you go, "You don't know me. I'm a friend of this person. Have we ever met?" No. Then why do you want to be my
'Cause
Facebook friend?
I want to be everybody's friend, but I don't want them to call.
No, you're talking for the social media person, not you. Oh, okay.
No, I personally would like to be everybody's friend.
And have nobody call?
Nobody call.
What kind of crazy crap is that?
I just want to be a nice person.
You are a nice person, whether it goes this way or goes that way. But don't you like your fellow human being to have a chit chat?
Yes, but they never phone anyways. I mean, they never call. They
What?
never come over.
I phoned you at least 17 times in the last 3 weeks, and I was hoping you were okay. And you said you
I
had.
thought that was Rogers.
Oh, I see.
I'm sorry. They've been trying to sell me a bundling.
A bundling.
Yeah. I don't know what they mean by that.
Yeah, it's way sexier than it sounds.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
I don't know about Rogers. I don't like. I'm not crazy about. Everyone should have one or two good friends,
Yes.
and then maybe several thousand friends they never speak to.
No, I'm
just
confused.
Just to say that they have friends.
Several thousand?
Yes, it makes them feel good.
I don't even know what conversation we're having now, because you're trying to make a poignant point, and I've clearly missed the message, because social media,
Yeah.
you're saying the selfie, people want to be important, so they're giving themselves self-worth,
That's
but
right.
but I'm trying to defend those people because I can't click on whatever. I'm assuming on Facebook,
Yes.
not on Twitter. I have only 98 followers or something ridiculously small on Twitter,
Oh, I see.
and I only know 7 of them.
Uh-huh.
I only know 7 of these people. The rest are people from Russia or a cook
Correct.
from Cleveland. I don't know them.
Oh, did you get that guy too?
The cook from Cleveland? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Twitter? Or
No,
you're
but
just making a joke?
No, but I eat his flunkin. It's terrible.
Flunkin, the Flunkin from Cleveland.
Cleveland.
That sounds
Yeah.
funny. I don't
No,
even care if it's real.
I heard people on Facebook say they have Facebook friends.
No, that is
and they
true.
brag about how many they've got.
But okay.
But they never call them. They never see them. They don't know really who they are, other than what they post back
Okay,
and
see,
forth.
I don't.
How do you get to know anyone without meeting them face to face?
You're freaking me out. It works backwards. The way Facebook came to my life, and I don't know how it came to your life because we're not in the same generation.
No.
You know what? For those who don't know who HART POMERANTZ is, he was talking about 1968, and clearly I could be doing some comedy in 1968. But we're talking about you could be my father's uncle.
That's right.
Okay, that's about right. Right?
Yeah, I'm over 70.
He's at least over 70.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not at least.
Why not at least?
Just over 70.
You're not allowed to call that guy 80, and I can't see at least 70?
Well, he looks 80.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Right. He had 80-year-old fingernails. I looked at them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that tie made of estrogen?
Don't you feel like you're about 20?
I feel like I'm 7.
Yeah.
No, I truly walk around, except when I stand up, because I got the psoriatic. How do you pronounce that word? I got psoriasis on my bone, on every joint in my body.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I'm sorry to tell you that, but it's true. So I hurt a lot all the time. I'm actually in so much pain, in fact, that things can, snap on me quickly because I'm in so much pain. So I've been medicated for that for the last 3 years, and it works. The pain medicine that I take really works.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And so, because I was taking...
Let's not talk about social media because I'm too old to discuss it.
That's actually that was my point. My point was that, just very quickly, the reason I got onto Facebook was because they were trying to charge me a thing for know your high school friends.
Right.
30 of your friends have joined this thing called highschool.com or something.
Right.
Do you want to join for $30? No, I'm not paying $30 to talk to people I didn't talk to in high school.
How much is that a friend?
$1, I guess. In general, it's 30 and 30.
Can you pick?
Can you pick the friends?
Yeah. Like 5 good ones for $5.
Yeah, no, that's not how that...
It's got to be $30 for all the friends.
That's kind of what you were doing, was opening yourself up to basically have an online reunion. That's what you were doing.
Yeah.
And then Facebook came up, and I said, I'm not doing it. I didn't talk to you in high school. I'm not talking to you now. Then Facebook came through and said, the same people are on ours, but it's free. I joined, the same 30 people, had my hello, how are yous.
Right.
It ended very quickly. I now have probably about 400 friends, but I know them from high school, people I've worked with. There's nobody on my Facebook account that I don't know personally.
Okay. I just get people all the time saying, wouldn't you like to be friends with so-and-so?
Well, because you're HART POMERANTZ. No one knows who I am. I'm the director of a television show, or I'm an entertainer who does live stage, and afterwards, You Were Funny is my name. You Were Funny. People remember my name as You Were Funny. That's my name.
Okay.
Or you sing well.
Yeah.
If it wasn't funny, I know when I didn't have a good night. You sing well.
You do good impressions.
But I never really did them. But I love doing impressions.
Well, you're very good.
Thank you very much.
Very good.
Thank you. I think that's why I think radio is my thing. I want to do a show called Interviews with Dead Celebrities.
Really?
Right. So we'll do an interview with with people that are not of this earth anymore, and we'll do the voices, and we'll ask them questions that people really, truly want to know the answers to.
It's certainly less expensive.
It will be.
Yeah.
It will be. It will be a whole lot less expensive than to get the actual
now
people.
You're talking,
yeah. I like the cut of your jib, the way this lawyer thing works out for you.
Yeah. Well,
so
when you're a lawyer, you have to think law. When you're a comedian, you have to think joke. It's very confusing sometimes because you can be funny in court and you could get into big trouble if you say the wrong thing.
Have you ever got what do they call it? Contempt of court because you said something so funny. Or not funny to the judge, rather.
No, because the judge always laughed. You got to make sure
the judge laughs.
Yeah, if
judge doesn't laugh, you got contempt of court.
That's a bad review.
Wow, that's a hell of a heckle. Oh, bad review, bad of a okay. Go on.
Yeah, some judges don't have a sense of humor.
Some.
And you got to know instinctively whether you should take a shot or not.
And again, that goes back to your psychology of knowing people.
Well, you just got to have a feel for it, or it just pops out sometimes. And I mean, judges are very powerful. They have nobody to answer to.
I actually don't know that.
You can't go and run say he insulted me, or he yelled at me, or he called me names. I mean, judges, they run their courtroom like a kingdom. They're the king. and you have to.
No, I actually don't know. I would say
you have to be very polite, very ingratiating, very.
I get yelled at every time I go to court.
Oh,
I do.
Been to court a lot?
Yes. Well, mostly parking, but I've been there for a lot of things. And when you get there for the parking or when you sign off, they have to go see a judge. And they said you go to see the judge. Yeah. And they said, well, it's right now. So I turned the corner to go see the judge. And I'm thinking I'm wearing a cowboy hat or something. And they're like, I walk in, and they're all looking at me like, what the hell? What do you think you're doing with a cowboy hat on? And I was like, what? Jewish people can't wear cowboy hats? I wasn't too sure what the... seriously, I didn't actually know about the whole...
Cows are kosher.
Cows are... Right, the whole thing seems good, right?
Right.
And he's like, sir, can you take off your hat? I said, I'm Jewish. Oh. Yeah, I don't have a keep on underneath. You don't mind if I keep my cowboy hat up in your courtroom, do you?
Good point.
Yeah, it was fun.
Good point.
Yeah,
they'd be in trouble if they contested that. It could be a human rights issue.
Yeah, that's actually what I ended up. But I was being a little flippant because I didn't know there was a rule on the hat thing. I thought it was a manners thing. Yeah. Didn't know it was a law.
You're not allowed to wear tap shoes either.
Is that a law or like?
No, just a convention.
It's a convention.
They don't like the noise. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know all the linguists.
No cowboy hats, no tap shoes.
Wow. You know, they're just so strict.
You learned that in law school first year.
It's like, that's 101.
Yeah.
Law school 101. So we started in radio, and you ended up in law. Or were you already a lawyer when you were in radio?
I was a lawyer from 1967 on.
Oh, so we're in law in 67.
In 1968, I was already in Hollywood.
No, hold on. No. So hey man, going to go to school, gonna have a life, gonna be a lawyer, and then a year later, I'm a lawyer. I'm in Hollywood somehow, and I'm writing for Laugh-In. Yeah. Now I don't know who's listening. I can tell you that the people that are my juniors are actually not going to know Laugh-In from anything. They're not going to know.
No.
Anyone a little older than me knows what this man just said, and it is. I mean, Saturday Night Live is one part of a puzzle, but if it wasn't for Laugh-In, Saturday Night Live couldn't exist. It was a progressive, allowing the people to speak, to have a freedom of voice, and Laugh-In was that place.
It was a counterculture.
Counterculture, that's a great word for it.
And it was
SNL's the same. It's counterculture.
Yeah,
it's on the exact opposite, parodying and satiring life for which is serious.
Exactly. Well, this was the top show in the nation at the time. I started with the Phyllis Diller show, which lasted 13 weeks.
Hold on. What came first, the chicken or the Phyllis?
Phyllis Diller came first. 13 weeks later, she was canceled because nobody was watching.
Well, 13 weeks, is it 13 full weeks, like a daily, or was it a weekly?
No, it's a weekly.
So you made 13 shows. You made 13 shows.
But on the show, Johnny Carson was there.
Go ahead, clean it up. That's okay. There's water beside you. Want some water?
I think I need a surgeon. Thank you.
I can't get you a surgeon, but I can clearly get you some mime, which is water in Hebrew.
Oh, mime, yeah.
Mime, yeah. Shemaim is sky. I'm not too sure how that works out, but it's all.
And who is he and he is she?
That's right. Who is she and who is she? And then if you're. Anyway.
But that's another grammatical issue. So I wrote for Phyllis Diller first.
Is she still around?
No, she's around, but underground.
Oh, I see.
She's with Robin Williams.
She's with Robin
Joan
Williams.
Rivers, who I also wrote for.
But they went natural. The other two, the surrounders all went natural there.
Oh, Joan Rivers was very funny.
Yeah.
Phyllis Diller was a good writer.
I just saw her on the Tonight Show.
Who?
Joan Rivers. She did Jimmy Fallon invited her back on for that one little thing because of the whole rigmarole. Did you see that?
I did. I saw her.
Okay, good.
And she looked better at 81 than when I knew her at 25.
I don't know. She looked kind of pretty, but I'll throw it back at you. So Phyllis Diller, she was a funny lady, but...
No, she was like the female Bob Hope. She had writers, but she also wrote her own material, and she was very, very brilliant in her own way.
Okay.
But the audiences weren't ready for her.
How do you mean?
I don't know.
You're talking about Phyllis Diller now?
The variety show.
Right.
So it only lasted 13 weeks.
Now, I'm trying to think of... I mean, I know I saw the Joan Rivers show for sure. Yeah. I saw that at least... And that had more of a run. How many years did the Joan Rivers show run?
1 year.
Is that true?
Yeah, she was.
And then Arsenio took that over quickly?
No, she was. I think so, but she was canceled, and then she went depressed, and her husband killed herself.
Yeah, I remember that. 92.
So I was out for dinner with them once.
Who's them?
With their husband and her and
Joan Rivers.
Marshall Brickman, who was a writer with Woody Allen, did Annie Hall, and
right.
Manhattan,
Right.
and she was performing at a club called the Upstairs at the Downstairs in New York, and she was killing them. She was really good.
Joan Rivers.
Yeah, but she wasn't making fun of celebrities then. She was making fun of herself.
Right. She's like the Don Rickles of.
Yeah, well, she became that way. Before, she was more self-deprecating, like Woody Allen.
She still is. She, you know, with the giant. You know, everything I've ever heard her say, it's like any comedian. I take one, you take one. I take one, you take one. If I'm showing you, I got lumps. I'll give you some bumps. I mean, it's only
but
fair.
She didn't give lumps. She only took them.
Only.
Before, yeah, in the early days.
Oh, I don't think I got that. I thought she was always, come on. Like she was like, she'd come on. I just told you the truth, and you're pulling back on me.
Well, maybe the stuff I wrote was all.
Oh, you wrote for now Joan Rivers?
Yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah.
3 steps back. I'm with Phyllis Diller, 13 weeks, cancel, and then you're writing for Joan Rivers?
No, it started with writing for Joan Rivers and Woody Allen. Then it went to Phyllis Diller. Then
Okay, all right, let's start again. So 1967, I'm a lawyer. After I'm a lawyer, I go to Hollywood. Why?
Because I had a friend who became the producer of the Phyllis Diller show.
See, Phyllis Diller's first. Not Woody, not...
No, Phyllis Diller was first television, but we had been writing for comedians in Toronto.
Oh, no, I don't think I got that. So I thought, when you said Hollywood, I assumed all the things go along with Hollywood.
No.
Oh, I clearly am wrong, yeah.
Not really. The people who were producing the Phyllis Diller show was a friend of mine called Bernie Ornstein, and I used to work in his hotel in the summers as a desk clerk, and we used to write comedy together. And he said, if I ever get into show business someday, I'll call you. And then I graduated law, and I got a phone call. It's Bernie Ornstein. I'm producer of Phyllis Diller show. I saw that you were writing for Joan Rivers. Phyllis does that kind of material. Do you want to come down?
And yes, of course. Why wouldn't I? That's
Well,
stupid. Why? Do you think I'm a lawyer having a life?
We hopped on a plane, and we were in Hollywood.
You're not married yet? You're married.
Yeah, I'm always married.
So you're
I was
always
married
married.
in grade 6.
Right, because that's when you can get them early.
Yeah.
So I'm a little confused though. So you left. See, that's why I don't do traveling at all because of my family. I don't want to go. So you actually you left the family just for a couple of weeks, just 13 weeks.
I took everybody with me.
You took everybody to Hollywood?
Yeah. There was only 3 of us.
Right.
Me, my wife, and my son, who was only 3.
Wow. So you uprooted people to go to Hollywood.
Yeah, and we took rented a house there, and after the 13 weeks was over there, it was difficult because I had no show.
Well, you didn't have that show, but you had other contacts.
Not really anything.
What?
I was walking in the hallway. What happened?
Is that me or you?
That was me.
Is that you?
Yeah.
It's because of where your microphone is. In my ears, it sounds like holy crap, Jaws.
Yeah, no, it was the cookie.
It's the cookie
It's the
coming
cookie.
back,
It's
coming back to haunt
coming
you.
back to
Are you lactose intolerant?
see
This is
it,
a
huh?
small studio. I just
No,
want
I get along with everybody.
Yeah, but okay.
The point is that we came back when the Phyllis Diller show was canceled. They didn't tell me, so I went to work.
Okay? So you pull into your parking lot and it says, "Don't park here." What the hell is it?
No, I walked into NBC in Burbank, into
Right.
the offices, opened up the door where we used to write,
Empty.
and pictures of Jerry Lewis on the wall.
That would scare the hell out of me.
I said, "Where's Phyllis?" He said, "She's gone. Didn't anyone phone you?" No,
She's gone.
gone.
Wow.
I said, "So what? So you?" I wanted my pen because it was there, and
I wanted my pen.
that's right.
It's my lucky pen. It's
my
a Bic.
my lucky pen that lasts for 13 weeks for writing jokes. So I'm walking in the studio, the NBC studio there,
Right.
with my head down.
Right.
I'm depressed. I don't know what to tell my wife. It's embarrassing. I have to go back to Toronto.
It's not embarrassing to have to go to Toronto. Just imagine if you lived in Hamilton. You got to go back to Hamilton.
Well, if you have to leave Hollywood, it's embarrassing because you tell everyone you're going to be in show business.
Oh, I see.
And so as I'm walking down the hall in front of the studio, I bumped into 2 tall guys that knocked me over. I actually fell backwards.
Okay.
Because I wasn't looking. I was.
You were upset. You're
Looking
looking at your
down.
feet.
Yeah.
Look at my feet. They're so small.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't the problem. And so I looked up, and the guys were the 2 stars of the Laughing Show, Rowan and Martin. They're a comedy team.
I do know them. I mean, I know of them.
Yeah, and I grabbed my neck, and I'm yelling assault and whiplash, and whatever I learned in law school, and the guys are laughing and they're
Because it's
saying,
funny.
I said, what a day. And I just got canceled from my show, and 2 comedians are now beating me up in a hallway. I said, this is a lousy day. And they're laughing and saying, who'd you write for, fellas? Blah, blah, blah. Do you ever do 2-man comedy show? Well, we did it all in CBC
Right.
before I came
Now you're
down there,
pitching. Now
on
you're
radio.
pitching. Now you're pitching Lorne Michaels' Hart Pomerantz Hour.
Yeah, so I said, well, we got some tapes of the stuff we did on radio, sent it into their agent. Within a week, we're on the top show from the number 60. We went to the #1 show in a weekend almost, because they listened to the tapes and they liked what they heard. And
That's
we
fantastic.
were hired.
Okay.
So that's the craziness of Hollywood.
That's the craziness of the business that you chose to be in.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
so
one of the businesses.
So that kept you going until.
Well, we did that for about the rest of the year, and got an Emmy nomination and lost to the Smothers Brothers,
Well, if you're going to lose to somebody,
and they were canceled.
yeah, but still, they're still the Smothers Brothers.
They're still the Smothers.
Yeah,
Brothers.
they
So we
haven't-
thought we were going to win. So when they said, "And the winner is," I stood up, heard the Smothers Brothers. I sat down. I pretended I was looking for my keys.
Funny.
You know, you had to.
Yeah.
It was very.
It's very funny.
embarrassing.
No, what are you talking about? It's funny. You needed keys. You have to get back home.
You have to get back.
You're showing off you have a car and a house
Not
and
only that, I had
responsibilities.
to show why I was standing.
Right.
Because why is he standing?
Right, there's no cell phones
He
then.
didn't win anything.
Right.
You know.
I gotta go pee.
I-
Thank you.
I was sure we were going to win because I wouldn't have bought tickets to go if we lost,
Right.
because it costs a lot of money to fly down there. For the
Smothers
show.
Brothers.
So, anyways, this is back in 1970 or so, and it was a very interesting situation. And then we came back here, and CBC said, "Oh, these American guys want to come back to Canada. They must be great because America like them, so we'll hire them." And we got our own show for 3 years called the Hart and Lorne Terrific.
The Hart and Lorne promo. Yeah. And this is what I keep promoting because it was that beat that now SNL exists with the help of you, with the logistics of how one could make that take place. And with that, he took a ball and he rolled. But what was going on in your life that you didn't get attached to I think it's now almost in its 30th year of.
Well, he went back to New York.
Right.
He went to New York. I didn't want to go anywhere. Remember, there was a couple of years where he wasn't doing anything.
When did it start? 78? It was.
No, he started in 75.
75.
And we were finished our show in 71.
Right.
So he was doing a special here, Lily Tomlin, and
Right.
but that's not enough to do anything. For maybe 2 or 3 years, he was not doing anything.
Right.
And by 75, he'd gotten this concept together for a show for kids that was another counterculture show.
It is a counterculture.
And
yeah.
I'm not a counterculture person. I'm too old.
Well, that's not true, but
I was older then,
you're older then than you are now.
and I was older than him, and I'm still older than him.
Right.
So it just never goes away.
That's true.
But that 3 years difference between him and I was a generational gap. And I was not interested in the kind of comedy they were doing on SNL, because it wasn't my kind of the
Right.
old style comedy, you know, the traditional comedy.
Right.
They were doing mean comedy.
Yes.
And I'm not a mean comedy guy.
Well, there is a punchline. Someone usually gets hurt with that punchline.
Their comedy was cruel, and I didn't like cruel
Mhm.
comedy.
No.
Second City I liked.
Well, no, they
Them
still.
I did.
Well, the Second City.
Second City were benevolent and good-natured. SNL was nasty,
Right.
and I didn't like it. I didn't like hippies. I didn't like.
You didn't like
flower
hippies.
power.
Oh man.
I didn't like marijuana. I didn't like anything.
But you do now. You like the hippies now. You like the marijuana now.
I could learn to.
Okay. Okay.
I could learn.
I can tell you when I'm
I'm
74.
working on glaucoma. So I
Glaucoma.
can try it.
Well, then you have to make sure there's enough CBDs because then it will, like Parkinson's, it'll loosen up the muscles on you.
Oh.
You don't need the THC, which is just a
Yeah,
painkiller.
no, I did drug cases for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what another thing you're doing now is that you want to represent other lawyers.
Well, I'm at the stage now where I know who the good lawyers are in town, and
Right.
I thought of setting up a referral system that if they would call me, and I would refer them to the guys I know who I think are really fair and good, and help them negotiate a good retainer so they
Right.
don't pay too much, and see them through their travails, because it's very stressful to go through a lawsuit. Anyone who's been through one knows how terrible it is. But if you have the right lawyer and you have the right relationship, and you get along, it could be a lot easier.
Okay.
So
See, I'm not a big fan of lawyers specifically, but there are certain cases where I had to put one on retainer
Yeah,
because, you need lawyers sometimes.
absolutely.
So if you need a lawyer, get a lawyer
Absolutely.
if you need one. Do you know how to advertise for that yet? Is anyone, if someone needed to reach out to you to be a lawyer or to find a lawyer, how would they do that? Right now, this second,
Well,
if
you just
someone's
call-
listening, I need a lawyer.
Yeah, just call my law office at 416
416
497 2210.
2210.
And just ask for HART POMERANTZ, and I'll call you back and we'll talk.
There you go. That was pretty personal.
Good.
So we'll see how many people can see you on that. I don't think this conversation's over, except I always put a ceiling of a good hour, and then we're up at that hour. So
Well, we got to know each other. That's
we did.
important.
Well, better, a little better.
Much
But we still have the Comedy Network to talk about. We have the concept of what we're doing next. We didn't talk about Hughes Room. We didn't talk about any type of amalgamations of anything else.
Time.
Well, I'm hoping to actually meet you again live on location, live from my bedroom on location,
yeah.
at your house.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that we could do something either maybe from your law office,
Okay.
right? We'll do it from your law office,
Yeah.
and we'll get a lawyer
Yeah.
to kind of give us kind of the middleman between us to see what's lawyerish and what's funny. Because if we can make the lawyer laugh,
Yeah.
come on.
That's all right.
No, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
he'll be there as our feed.
I think that's charity to make a lawyer laugh.
Yes.
Yeah, we should have a telethon for them.
We should just, yes, we should have a telethon for lawyers.
For lawyers, because
Yeah.
they don't laugh.
But we're not going to get the money.
No,
We're just going to make them laugh.
that's right.
It's a laughing telethon.
Laughing telethon.
I want to do that with you.
Okay.
And we'll invite a bunch of lawyers, and
All
we'll
right.
charge them $1,000 a seat. They got the money.
They got
They need the laugh.
They need to see.
Give until it hurts.
Okay.
Okay, HART POMERANTZ, thank
Yeah.
you very much for hanging here live in my bedroom on location. I think you should have your own Palmcast and the Palmcast Network. I'll keep promoting that to you, and
Okay.
hopefully we'll have that happen at some point in time. Again, and I always will be Adam Powell. Please, be good to yourself and each other. I think I stole that from Jerry Seinfeld. No, Springer.
I think it was Roy Rogers.
No, that had something to do with a horse.
Oh.
Thanks, Mabel.